Got another video. You'll probably notice it's back to back like the other video I just did because I'm on a roll and I have some free time right now. And I have a list of videos I want to get through for you guys. So today's video is going to be about changing the default IP address of Untangle because 192.168.1.1 is a horrible IP address. It's the one that starts every nightmare for every IT technician out there in the world. So, let's open. Let's log into our Untangle. 192.168.1.1. What is this asking? Warning, your network's not at risk. Get advanced security. What? Oh, because I don't have a complete package yet. Not yet? Okay. So, config, network. Let's make sure the switch is this right here. Because if we take this IP address and go here, edge switch. So it's set to DHCP. Let's make sure UBNT, settings. Oops, this one? Nope, it's this one. It's set to DHCP. So first thing we should do then is go to our interfaces, internal. We'll change this to, and then IP6 is off. DHCPs, we're going to go 8. 8. And I'm not going to go this far. I'm going to start at 150 to 2. Actually, no, we're going to go 1. No, we'll go 100 to 170 or 180. We'll check we'll do our DHCP range. We'll go done. Pretty easy. That's pretty easy to do. We changed the address and our scope. Pretty easy. Done. Now we're going to press save. What I like to do is pull the cable out of my laptop, which is pull it out. You'll see on the screen here that it's going, I've lost connection and it's down here, no connection. Instead of doing release and renew, I find it faster to do it that way because I'm lazy. We'll wait a couple seconds. Oh, saw down here. So down here we see that it's gone to the little screen. So we got our IP address. Now if we go IP config, we have 8.100 or 180. So it's the first IP address. Before we go too far now, we have to reset the switch. So I'm going to reach over here, unplug the power, plug it back in. It takes about a minute to come online. In the meantime, we'll go like this and go 8.1. Once we see the network connection in the bottom there come up, I've also got this switch connected with a nice SFP LC, or not LC, SFP to RJ45 1 gigabit adapter. I really like these. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I have all 4 8 ports on the front of the switch available and using the other ports for my uplinks. Plus, when I add VLANs in a minute here, I'll show you that it's easier to identify where things are. And now we have action. Oh, Dirtbag messaged me again. That's my friend. Call him Dirtbag. Okay, so now let's log into it. And let's see. Yes, I know. We'll go to config, network, DHCP server, and the switch got a new IP address too. But before I go too far, because I like to put all my switches at the very beginning of the network, I'm going to go like this and go add a static. And then I'm going to change it from 167 to 2. And then I'm going to go description. I'm going to call this ed switch 8. Oh, not start 8. And then I'm going to go save. And we'll have to do this over again. Unplug it. But perfect time to have a swig of coffee. coffee at 4 in the afternoon. Definitely not sleeping tonight. .2. Okay, so our switch is there. So now we can go 8.2. There's our switch. Let's log into this. UBNT, UBNT, and we're in. Perfect. So if we go to here, we'll see all our ports. Now what we want to do is we want to log into our Untangle. And so we want to go config. So now what we're going to try to set up is we're going to show how to do VLANs. So let's go network, add a tag interface, and we're going to call this internal, and up here we'll give it the ID. So we're going to go, let's say IoT. We'll give this tag number 10. So we'll go 192.168.10.1. Net mask 24, DHCP. Now we don't have many IoT devices, so let's go 192.168.10.50, and then we'll go 192.168.10.80. Lease duration is 3600. I'll go back and check that after, and then we'll go done. That's our first VLAN. Pretty simple. Let's add another one. So let's go add, we'll give this www devices. So like, no, we'll call this camera network. Camera work. And we'll go internal. Let's give this 20. Nope. Address of 192.168.20.1. To keep it simple, we'll go 24. DHCP, we have to enable the DHCP, so range start 192.168.20.100, 192.168.20.150. I don't think there's gonna be that 50 device. Let's go 125. 25 devices on that. Probably never gonna be that, but at least we'll have a small scope. Lease is 3600. Done. So these devices you could put in your own DNS, like for the IoT and the camera network, you could put in 8.8.8 so it doesn't look at any of the Untangle things, but we'll just leave it as this for now. So we'll go done. So we got 20 and 10, and we'll go save. Done. So now we have our two VLANs. Now the easier part, let's go into our switch. Now I've done this millions of times, so it's pretty easy to do on this switch. So we're going to go VLAN 10, add VLAN 20, add. Now we both have that. So the top one is the default VLAN number 1. This one, number 10, will be the, what do we call the 10? We call the 10 IoT. Yep, and then the other one's camera network. So let's say we have a camera on, what are we using for our port, our top port? So right now we have, oh, you want to save that. Right now we have port number 9 being used for our traffic and our uplink and stuff, and then my laptop's plugging into 1. So let's go back to here. Forgive me, keep clicking the wrong one. Oh, and it didn't save the VLANs. You sucker. 10, 20, add. Where's our save? Apply. That's why. Didn't apply it. Okay, so we have the VLANs. Pretty easy to do. Let's use this one. So we have to exclude on the main VLAN for VLAN 1, because we don't want it to be sending any traffic over that, so we're going to exclude that. We need to tag our 9th port, so that way we know where the traffic's coming in, out of, and in and out of. And then what we want to do is untag it for this 9th or 8th port right here. Now we're going to do the same thing for VLAN 20, but we'll use port 7. So we have to exclude this from this one, exclude it from this one, and then untag it for this one. And if we push apply, we're done. Let's go further. Let's unplug the laptop and plug it into the other ports here and see what we get for an IP address to make sure we go. So if we plug it into port 8, we should get an IP address from VLAN 10, which is 192.168.1.24. And if we plug it into the other port, 7, we should get 20. So let's try that. I'll plug it from here, plug it into 8. What do we get? We'll wait for the little house guy down here to show up, the network to show us that we're on a network. We got action. So let's go IP config. And it works. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? There's rules. There's tons of rules we could do to create rules for setting up and doing all that stuff. But right now, this is a basic setup to get you on different networks and stuff like that to start laying things out and working. So we got 7 working, or 8 working. Let's see what happens if we do 2, 7. Seven's plugged in. We'll wait a couple seconds. Down here, my little house network guy. He says identifying, and bang. So now let's go IP config again. What do we get? 20. So as you can see, VLANs and Untangle, and on pfSense it's pretty easy, but on pfSense you have to create a rule if you want traffic to go in and out. If I go to fast.com, Untangle already creates that rule for you, so you can see that it's already working on the internet. If you do the same thing on pfSense, just create the VLANs and the subnets and stuff, you can't get out because you got to create the all rule for it to do that. Pretty easy to do, and I'll probably go over that later on. Actually, I did already. Did it in the other video, right? So let's see if we can get to 8.1. We can, because we don't have a block rule to get from subnet to subnet. Right now, they're just like one big large network, but that's in another video. So taken up enough time for this video. Now what we're going to do is go on to another video later on and go from there. So for today, we got, if we look here, we have our external, we have our internal, which is the default network, and then we have an IoT network, which is what we would create for all our little devices like Wi-Fi switches and plugs and bulbs and stuff like that that people use. And then we have a camera network. So if you have a security system and you have PoE cameras like plugged into a bigger switch than this, you can put those on a different network to make it so they don't talk back and forth. There's some cameras out there that talk back and forth and do some stuff that we don't like, so we like to keep that on a different network. So that was a pretty easy setup. I mean, that took literally a couple minutes. I've probably done it millions of times, but that's the gist of how to create VLANs on your Untangle box and get them working, and on this switch. And Cisco switches are pretty close to doing that, because I did an Untangle video, or the pfSense video, and it was pretty easy on the Cisco switch. I have a Unify switch down there that half works that I'm going to try doing, but I got to create a cloud controller, so I'm going to let you doing that. So for today, that's it. We changed our default IP address from 192.168 to 1.1 to 8.1 and created 2 more VLANs and got them working. Next video, stay tuned. I'm not too sure what we're going to do. Probably we're going to secure the portals so that way certain VLANs like the IoT and the camera network can't talk to the web interface of your Untangle box. So for now, thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. Talk to you later.